Alright, so today I'm gonna try to model this jewelry pendant. It's a compass. You can see here. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna try to model the dial first. So it's just gonna be like basic circle. And let's go 10. Make this over a little bit. And we can offset this in. 0.5, and then let's see what I made this one. 5.5. So we offset 4.5, and then we can go again, and we can extrude these. So let's go 2. And I think what I want to work on first, well, let's finish up making this dial. So let's see, 0.5. Extrude that, make sure it's solid, 0.5, and then extrude this down, join these together, and planar surface, and you can join everything. Let me see. Oh, I see. Okay, join, and it's closed now. So let's work on the arrows of the compass now. I want it to fit within this inner circle, so let's duplicate that, move it over, and go to top view for this. So I'm just probably gonna draw one of them, and then you can just copy it. So let's see, offset, and get 1 millimeter tall, and then let's see, I want it to taper a little bit here, so I want it to go to I want it to be half of the size that it is now, so that will be at the midpoint there. And I can rotate this. And mirror this over. Split. Cap. And then we can just mirror this for the other side. Okay. Now, I think I also wanted to taper it from the middle, so this end is going to be shorter than the middle is, so we get a tapering effect that way too. And I'll use this line, extrude to the middle. Cap, and let's see, don't think we need this. I'll just hide it. And I want to fill it here. But since it's at an angle, such as a steep angle, I don't know exactly like what radius of fillet I need. So say if it was a right angle, I could just take half and it would go halfway. But here I think I need to construct it a bit more carefully. So I'm gonna use an arc instead and just go tangent. Then we can extrude that. Split. Split. Join. And I think I also want to make these rounded. Like that, and like that. And then also just have a fillet around the edge. And it doesn't work, so maybe a little bit smaller. Great. Okay, so now we can rotate. And here we run into a problem. So you can see at the middle, the surfaces were constructed in arcs, and they're not going to intersect properly when they're rotated because of that. So what we need to do is actually reconstruct those so it's just one surface going across the intersection of both of these pieces. So I'll show you how I go about that. So maybe just copy this. Maybe I need this too. So we don't need that, and let me just clean up a little bit in here. Okay. So I'm just cleaning this up a little bit. Don't need that anymore. And you can see we had those arcs that we extruded before. We have essentially half of that, so we need to bridge the gap here a little bit. So I'm going to draw a new arc, tangent, and we need to make sure it's going exactly to the corner. So sometimes with the arc command, it doesn't draw it exactly the way you want. So you can see it's done that here. So I need to fix that manually. And just in case the tolerance is a little bit different between the pieces, I'm just going to do it manually for all 4 of them. one more. Alright. So I want to network surface this, and conveniently network surface likes four curves, likes to use 4 curves per the outline, and we happen to have 4 edges that we can use here. So let's run the connect command to connect them, and we get a great square that we can use. Move this over, and we need these cross sections. Alright, so let's join these. Join, and then you can network surf. Move that back, and I need this to cut. Oh, where'd it go? Split. And we have solved that issue. So yeah, this is something that I do all the time when I'm working, is, you know, you have a problem, and it gets kind of messy, so you can just reconstruct it with one single surface, oftentimes using that network surface. So let's join this. Oh, it's open here. Just cap it, and let's see how it looks on the dial. Alright. So that takes care of this larger one, but this smaller one, let's see if we can do something similar. And I think we don't have to worry about it, you know, reconstructing that intersection again. So let me see what I did here. Okay. So I think offset it a little bit in, offset it 1. And the process is the same. So offset 0.125, both sides. Sorry, 0.25. And maybe this one just comes up to, so this was 1. So maybe we'll do 0.75. What? Right, join that. Oh, no. Okay. Join. Fill it that again, and then copy that. So this one's a bit easier. We don't have to rebuild that again. Let me see. Just split it, and then split this, and join. Great. So we have our compass now. I think the next thing I want to do is, well, we can join these together. Split that. Join, move that back, join it, it's closed, and we can add the directions. So I'm going to do a text object. I think George is probably fine, and let's make it 2. And I think I want it to come up not flush with the ridges that we made, but maybe halfway. So there. And I want to put them correct spots on each quadrant. So we can do that if we use, we do that easily if we put a bounding box on them and then use something called the between command. And this is super helpful in trying to find the center of things, of just like an object, without having to mathematically, figure that out using all these different curves. So you just do a bounding box, whatever command you want to use, and then you type between. I have it bound to my F3 command, or my F3 function button. So you take the corners, and then it takes the midpoint. This makes it super easy to move things from their centers. Put those there. We don't need these curves anymore. And let's join them. Don't need that. And we don't need the bottoms of these. Join, and it's closed. And maybe one more thing for the dial is oftentimes there are degree marks at, every 10 degrees or whatever. So let's draw those. And I think these can just come up to the same height as the letters. So I'm going to draw one tick mark. You know what? Maybe it only goes halfway. Then we can use a ray curve, and since there are 360 degrees, I'm going to use 36. So essentially, like each 10 degrees, there's going to be a tick mark. So 36. And since there's so many, you can just group them. And let's see. So we want to join it, and we don't need the sides or the bottoms. So it's a little tedious to select all of these. So I'm coming around with the lasso tool. Alright, delete that. And we also don't need the bottom. Okay, join 36. delete that. Can move these back now. Join. Okay. So we have the dial done, and I think there's just, we can fillet this, but I want to add this little loop here. And I think I made it a little bit more nuanced than that, so you can see it's kind of curved if you look at it from the side here, it's curved up, and then this side is straight. So let's try to work on that. Let's see what I did. 2. Two. Fillet that, and then offset that. Okay, now you can split that. Move this back. Okay. So let's see how thick I made this. So it's 1. And 0.5. Negative 0.5. Extrude that there. And I want to make it curved here so it flows kind of seamlessly from the back of the pendant into this loop here. So it's a little tricky to do this, but I'll show you the process that I would do. Trim. Alright. So we found the intersection point between the surface that we just drew and the back of the pendant. So I need to fillet this, and I'm gonna trim it essentially using this outline. Okay, so I think I want the edge of the fillet to hit right there, like right where this seam is. Just right there. So I'm gonna do arc again. And split. And extrude this more, and then split it. Here. Split. Oh, I see. So, split. Okay. So I need to split this first, then I can use this. Alright. Now. Okay. Split that, and then we need to work on this a little bit. So you don't need the bottom, and you don't need this. Okay. Alright. So we have everything from the basic shape and our loop here, and I think now we can just add fillets to make it a bit softer. So I'm gonna copy, and let's try to fillet this. Okay, that's good. We have a problem. Okay. So I thought this would happen, and it's gonna be much easier to fillet, especially around here. Well, let's see if it fillets. It doesn't. So I know what the problem is. It's this seam here, so we have to rebuild some things. So I'm gonna loft these and just replace it I replace these surfaces with the loft. So loft doesn't have those extra seams. Split, and then same with this fillet down here. So we have to untrim all this. Untrim. Loft, get back, resplit, and join. Okay. Now let's try to fill it. So it looks like it's still breaking here. Luckily, this part is it's pretty easy to fix this. So I'll untrim these, extract. Oops. Okay, so now let's try to split it using those curves. Right, so that's fixed, and we can, should be easy to fill it from here. So 0.125. Right, so this doesn't want to work. That works. Alright. So, it's finished now. Let me see if there's anything else. I don't think so. You can look at it in rendered view. There we go. There's compass. Pendant. It's ready to print if you would like to do that. And so strictly speaking, you do not need to close poly surfaces, and like when it's in NURBS. If you want to print this, you need to convert it to mesh. So let me show you the process. You make it a mesh, and then it's the mesh that you have to close. So right now I have my display settings on, showing that naked edges have this color when it's in shaded mode. So it's just in the document properties, in view, display mode, shaded objects, you go to meshes, and then I set this pink color for naked edges, and then this blue color for non-manifold edges. So the naked edges are what we need to fix if we want to print it. So I'm going to do align vertices, do border, okay. So you just have to go in and delete faces, and you can do fill mesh hole just to get the last couple of them. Then check again using do border and a close mesh. So this would be ready to export. It's like an STL or something like that if you wanted to 3D print it. So yeah, I hope that's helpful.